You know, every founder starts with this huge vision. But what if I told you that without making one very specific, very deliberate choice, your company is probably just drifting? Today, we're going to break down this powerful idea that you have to consciously choose your company's destiny, because if you don't, one will absolutely be chosen for you.
And this quote, it really gets to the heart of the problem. It's so easy to have a wish for your company, right? A huge exit, a legacy that lasts forever. But without a concrete plan, that's all it is, a wish. And as we're about to see, just wishing can be pretty dangerous.
Okay, so this lack of a plan, it leads to what might be the single biggest destroyer of a founder's wealth and their legacy. It's the silent killer that can undermine even the companies that look like they're doing everything right on the surface.
And it has a name. It's called strategic drift. This is what happens when you try to keep all your options open. It sounds smart, doesn't it? But here's the big catch. Keeping your options open is not a strategy. It's actually a choice by default. And it just leads to a ton of confusion and a company that isn't really optimized for anything.
So, what's the antidote to this drift? It's clarity. Simple as that. The framework we're digging into here forces you to make a conscious choice to pick one of three very distinct destinies for your company. And once you choose, that choice becomes the filter for literally every single decision you make from that day forward.
Now, these aren't just some vague categories you can just file your company under. You should think of them as three totally different operating systems for your business, and each OS dictates everything: how you hire, how you raise money, even how you define what success looks like.
So what are they? The three destinies are building for an acquisition, preparing for an IPO, or creating what's called a forever company. Now, each path is totally valid, but here's the key. You can't walk all three at the same time. Let's break down what each one really means for you and your team.
First up, the acquisition path. If you choose this, your entire focus is on one thing: building an attractive, easy-to-integrate asset that another bigger company is going to want to buy. The goal here is a clean, profitable exit, usually somewhere in that 3 to 7 year window. The sale isn't just a milestone on the journey, it is the finish line.
And the classic example of this, of course, is Instagram. It was built for speed, for user growth, and to be a perfect strategic puzzle piece for a social media giant. That laser focus is what led to its sale to Facebook for a mind-boggling $1 billion, just 18 months after it launched.
Okay, next up is the IPO, the initial public offering. And let's be super clear about this. An IPO is not an exit. It's a brand new beginning. It means subjecting your company to this extreme level of transparency, of governance, and of quarterly discipline. It usually happens after, say, 7 to 12 years of just intense, heads-down building.
And Shopify is just a brilliant case study here. They were incredibly patient. For over a decade, while they were still private, they were already building the operational muscles of a public company. And that long-term preparation is exactly why they didn't just survive their IPO, they absolutely thrived in the public markets.
And finally, we have the third path, the forever company. This is where the company itself is the legacy. The main goal isn't a big liquidity event. It's about permanence. You're optimizing for durability over speed, and for resilience over just short-term growth.
You know who embodies this? Salesforce. From day one. From their famous 1-1-1 philanthropy model, which was literally written into their founding documents, to their multi-decade mindset on growth, every single decision has served that one goal: to build a permanent institution.
So, we've got these three different operating systems, but how do they actually change the physics of your company day to day? Well, the trade-offs become incredibly clear when you see them laid out side by side.
And this is where it all clicks into place. Just look at the founder's role. It shifts so dramatically. You go from being a temporary builder with a clear end date to a public CEO who has to answer to Wall Street every 90 days, to a steward of a legacy. Your entire job description, your whole identity as a leader, it completely changes based on the path you choose.
So look, this whole framework isn't just some business school theory. It's a really practical filter for your day-to-day decisions. And each destiny comes with one core question that should guide you every single day.
And these questions, they just perfectly capture the logic of each OS. If you're building to sell, every decision gets filtered through, will this help us sell? If you're going for an IPO, it's, can we report this to Wall Street? And if you're building a forever company, the question becomes, will this outlast me?
So, as we wrap this up, let's turn the lens back on you. And be honest,
Forget what you want your company's destiny to be for a second. Just look at the hard evidence. The money you've raised, the people you've hired, the metrics you obsess over every morning. Which destiny are your actions already choosing for you? Answering that honestly, well, that's the real first step to finally taking control of your company's future.